My name is Cooper Murphy. I work for Blue Jay Irrigation. This is my third season. I'm now upgraded to a service team leader. This is a day in the life. Yeah, thank you. Okie doke. Let's go say hi.
If you need more time, let us know. We can pick up calls for you.
Will do.
The rest of your days, it makes you small repairs and mid-season checks. Your second last one.
So right now I checked out my list and I'm just grabbing some parts for the things that I'll need today. So I always like to check my list the night before, so it just makes my morning that much easier and quicker. I like to clean out my van the night before just to make sure that when I get in, you know, I know exactly where everything is. I'm not scatterbrained, I'm organized, and I'm prepared for the day. So today it's Tuesday. We see a high of 40 degrees, so one thing I'm gonna do is fill up my water in the shop. There's 2 jobs today with older controllers, so I'm gonna go pick some up and just see in case the customer wants to change them. So today we've got a relatively normal day. It looks like I got 8 or 9 jobs. First job, we're headed out to do a service repair. Looks like it's in London, it's in town. It looks like there's a head that's been knocked off. So let's go see what's wrong and get it repaired. Hunter Pro HC in garage. So they have a Wi-Fi controller. So I'm gonna go to my HydroWise app first thing and I'm going to connect to that. Okie doke. Let's go say hi.
It was like gushing.
Just geyser?
Like 10 inches up.
Okay. That's just a nozzle. I'll throw a new nozzle in there and adjust it for you.
I think we've replaced one before.
Okay. I'll check in the invoice. If it was last year, you'll be under warranty and we'll replace it for free for you. If we can turn the water on, I'll get it fixed up for you. So homeowner gave me a broken rotary nozzle, so immediately I know that this is a 2090 to 210 rotary nozzle. I'm gonna grab my rotary nozzle kit. I'm gonna grab the exact part. Brand new one is what he gave me. Do you want that schedule changed at all, or are you just happy with it?
Okay.
And we'll just...
No, it's the first summer we've tried to reduce.
Yeah.
At 2 times a week.
Yeah.
But just because I missed it, I think getting 35 degrees would be better if I just...
No kidding, and that 35 degrees isn't going away. I see that for the rest of the week, eh? So, okay. So it's looking like it's zone 3. We'll start that up. There we are. There's the geyser. It's like a nozzle came off from the top of that 4-inch spray head. So we found the head. Let's find the collar. Part of it broke off in it. So we'll just cut a little donut around it, inspect it a little further. So when I'm doing this, I want to create as minimal damage as possible to the yard. Looks like we've got a whole entire root right in this area, which is always fun for us with the shovel on the end of our hands. And then if you look a little closer, you could probably see why this happened. You got a spiderweb root system right over top of the 4-inch spray head, which just loves to pinch them off and create all sorts of problems for us. So let's go grab our lopers and let's get this root cut out of here. Just broke right off in there. Swap the head. That's gonna be really difficult. So all I'm trying to do right now is just, we've got a built-up root system around this head. So I'm just trying to free it up, give ourselves some room so we can get it off and throw in a new one. So we'll go grab the replacement part. Now I don't recommend this, because your mom will get upset. Don't tell her I'm using my white t-shirts as a rag. So we've got a 4-inch spray head. Just double checking that everything looks good. The internal, the spring in there, everything feels good, it looks good. So I'm gonna swap this broken 4-inch spray head that they had on their zone 3 left of driveway section with a new one. And most times, a lot of techs know this, if you be really careful and gentle, should be able to just swap out the old with the new, just like that. I always joke, if anybody out there has seen Iron Man, it's like when Iron Man replaces his heart. So before I backfill or anything, I'm just gonna double check. I'm gonna turn the zone on, make sure pressure's good, make sure the area is dry, we have no additional leaks, and then we can put the top back on. So we're successful. The only last thing that we need to do is assess the area around us, determine what this head covers, what area needs to be serviced by this. So right now when I'm looking, I see that there's no coverage in this corner. So I'm gonna make sure that this corner is covered. I'm gonna open this 90 to 210 rotary nozzle up to 180. So we'll get full coverage, exactly what we want. A little bit on the neighbor's side, but I bet they'll be happy with that. Clean up the roots, clean up the old head. We're not gonna leave them with that mess. We created it, it's our own problem. So it's important to me, as I'm a son of a landscape architect, that I make sure everything goes back the way it does. Everything looks nice. It looked like I was never here. That's exactly what we want for our customers. We don't want them to worry about, the work that we're doing. We want them to have confidence in us that when we go to a job, it's gonna look the same or relatively close depending on the job, from when we came and from when we leave. Hey, all fixed up. So the threads underneath that nozzle had broke off. So that had the nozzle, that's why it just flew out. Okay. So I just had to replace that head. Okay. I haven't checked about the rotary nozzle, but I'll make sure that you're not charged for that if that was replaced last year.
See if it was last year.
100%. Okay. Yeah, and I just did, it's behind the tree, so you're just doing a 180 back onto your side.
Exactly. Yeah, I appreciate your time.
You're very welcome. You're all set. Have a good day. All right. Thanks for hanging out. Okay. We'll see you. So after we complete the job, I just write up a summary of everything that I did. Although I did speak with the customer, it's better to have, more effective two-way communication between us and them. As well, like I was mentioning before, if anything was repaired in the past, most of our products have a warranty, either 3 years, 1 year, 5 year. So it helps returning tech see if we have already fixed that problem, and if under our policy, we owe them that product. Alrighty, so we're just about to head out to our next job. It looks like it's not too far away. It's a system startup. It's a new customer, so we have no information. So let's go get it. Good morning. I'm well, thank you. How are you?
Good.
Cooper with Blue Jay.
Ali, very nice to meet you.
Ali, pleasure.
You're probably gonna need to turn on the water. Right?
Yes.
Which is in the basement.
Yep.
So come on in.
If I could I just wanted to introduce myself. I'll just do a quick lap. I just want to get some notes of some things, and then if I could get it down there and do that.
There's a lock in the
So I'm just doing a little system walk right now. Things I'm looking for are blowout points. I'm looking for the backflow. Just kind of assess things as I'm going. Either it's hidden and I'm blind and I haven't seen it yet, or we have a DCVA somewhere in the basement. And look at that. So we found it. There's our backflow device. So first thing we're gonna do is close the test cocks for winterization, throw the plug in, go downstairs, turn the water on, get to the controller, and start the zones up. So I have water running, which is good. So maybe we start in the backyard. As I'm going along, I just want to make sure that I have the notes so I'm not backtracking or missing any important information. So as I'm walking around, the things I'm looking for are water sources, controller locations, blowout points. I'm also writing down the area which these zones are in, so then we know for future reference if I want to grow on zone 3, I know exactly where on the property it'll be. Cool area garden plus drip line left rear. So right now I'm just flagging out heads that I want to bring to the homeowner's attention. These are leaning, you know, decently forward or decently to the side. So to be most efficient, we'll just properly orient them at a 90 degree, make sure that they're spraying in the area that they're supposed to. Another thing that I'm checking for is soft scape alignment. I want to make sure that nothing is hitting where it shouldn't, such as the side of the house on the foundation, which as we all know, water can cause significant cracking and damage to the foundation, so we want to limit that as much as we can. Pretty much doing the same thing as I would with a spray head. I'm just checking for alignment. I'm making sure that we have double or, you know, triple coverage if possible for these rotors. So another head on the property we found, you can hear it clicking. That means the gears on the inside are shot, so it's no longer oscillating for the homeowner. So I'll recommend that we change this out. Otherwise, if we leave a stationary head, you'll see one clear green line and you'll see some dead grass on the other side. And that totally defeats the purpose of having an irrigation system. We want a lush green lawn everywhere you see grass. Yeah, and there's another one. All zones pop up except zone 3. So one thing I can do to make sure, you know, if it's a cut wire is I can do an ohms test. And if I read an overload, that means we have no power. And it's overloaded. Two heads in the front and one head in the back that's no longer oscillating. So we can replace those for you if you'd like. So doing it this way, I always try to be really, really careful. Pack around the soil around the outside while I'm doing it this way, just because I don't want any dirt or sediment to go back inside of the zone line. That can cause nozzles to clog. That can cause weeping valves if that dirt travels all the way back to the valve in our valve box just down to our right. A lot of the guys at the shop love to poke fun at me because I use a tart. In my opinion, it makes my life a lot easier. Less cleanup. Looks like we've got a weeping valve. So right now I'm just trying to find the valve that runs that zone in the backyard. It looks like we've got a weeping valve. What a weeping valve is when, like I was talking about previously, when sediment either gets in through the top of these when they've been serviced, or when sediment goes from the heads and works its way back to the valve, causing that diaphragm inside not to settle. And when those valves are always under constant pressure, we have sediment in there just like that. Those valves will open on their own, and that's something that we don't want, because we want the homeowner to know that they're not going to be using any of their water that they pay for when they don't want to. So if you can hear that right now, the valve is having a little trouble. It's not sure if it wants to turn on or turn off. It should be off. We want it to be off. So quickly, a way to combat this issue is give it a quick flush. We do that by opening our bleed screw, as well as opening the solenoid that's on top of the valve. So open and close the solenoid, open and close the bleed screw. And that's how you flush a valve. Hello! Yeah, you see what's going on? What's going on with that head? Okay, so quick overview of our mooring so far. First thing we did was a service repair. We fixed one head, good to go. Next job, we did a startup. We got all of our system information. We fixed all the broken heads and we did the proper alignment. Now we're at a new type of job. It's called a mid-season visit. Personally, it's one of the reasons why I would choose Blue Jay. A part of our membership plan, we do a startup, 2 free mid-season visits, and then a blowout at the end of the year. So this encompasses that. Basically what I'm doing is a full system walkthrough. Things change over the season, you know, landscape changes, we add plants, we remove plants, we need to increase time, especially now we have 40-degree heat. We didn't have that back in April when we started up the system. So that's all things that we're gonna look at today. So again, with things I'm just looking for, I'm looking for alignment, I'm looking for proper coverage, making sure everything is being covered that needs to be covered. We have no damage, no broken heads, no broken nozzles. We're not losing water anywhere due to leaks. Pressure is optimal. And those are some things that I'm looking at per zone as I'm going through. This happens, you know, we have PRS heads, which if we put a PRS head in here, it would close this and it would no longer drain it. Because that's the top of the zone. The zone line runs down here and this is the last head. So that water with gravity is just naturally gonna settle in this location. So that's something that we'll inform the homeowner about. So that head that you pointed to me at the front there, that's the last head on the line. The zone line runs from your side of your house all the way to your front. That's the last head on the line. So that's just naturally draining with gravity. And I can assure you that because I checked all the other heads and they're not leaking. The lowest head is the one that's just, it's just slowly emitting water just at the bottom. It's not really a concern unless it bothers you. Like there's not an issue with the system. You're not wasting any more water. It's just that water that's draining that's in that line already. Yeah. Same thing at the back there, started the zone. There's no leaking coming from the bottom of it. It's just when I cancel that zone, the heads come down. Yeah. That just naturally drains in that location. Yeah. But in terms of like a system operation standpoint, totally unrelated. Okay, it's just so natural. A little water around. Just a little as it settles, you know, just for a couple seconds as that line drains. So I can lower that head for you and properly set it, no problem. Okay. The only other thing that I saw was that you have a head right here in this location. That's barely getting out of the ground. Like that's really down there and it barely just protrudes out of the surface of the grass. So, you know, you're missing a lot of coverage. So I could just like level that with the grass.
That'd be great.
Perfect. And then the same thing in the back, you've got a rotor. So you have good coverage on the left side of the 90. Yeah. But when you get to that right side of this 90-degree turn, you're basically just shooting straight up, right? So that one's just right there. And that's why you can see it's a little drier over here, but you know.
Yeah, okay. So if you're gonna fix that, that would be great.
I'll just straighten those two out and then I'll lower that one out there.
And we'll be set.
Yeah, you're laughing.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect.
Thanks a lot, Cooper.
Okay, so we completed our mid-season visit. We raised and straightened a couple heads. We checked the alignment on everything. Everything looks good. Coverage is great. Pressure is good. Homeowner's happy, which means we're happy. Okay guys, so we're at the last call of the day. It's just a simple mid-season. We know what to do. So let's get into it. swap that one out. All right, and that wraps it up. This was a day in the life with a Blue Jay technician. I really appreciate you guys for watching. If you have any concerns with your irrigation system, you're looking to switch for your service provider, or you'd like a free estimate, please reach out to our office.